Yeah, and I think with that being said, Tom, we're going to go ahead and get rolling here.
Kick it.
So yeah, let me know if you guys can see my screen. I think whenever I go here, this you guys still see Power of Unified Marketing?
Yep,
Sir.
we can see it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Once again, thank you guys for showing up. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, joining our Zoom call, this webinar. This is something like Tom just said, we've been talking about for a few months now. So my name is Dave. I'm going to be emceeing this call. I work with Jump Forward Media as well as with Apex. So what we've done in the last few months and of over years of all these different companies, we've all kind of built a few pieces to the puzzle in the sense that there's 5 companies being represented here that all kind of own a certain territory that would help a med spa grow. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start going through this PowerPoint and teaching you guys about those pieces to these puzzles and giving you guys some information on how we can absolutely knock it out of the park for 2026. So yeah, the presentation, this is the power of unified marketing, how alignment across platforms creates momentum. This is a webinar fueled by Apex Coach, Jump Forward Media, Defcon Marketing, and Innova Sales Lab, and VA Task Pros. So we're going to be going over what this webinar is, what it looks like, why we're doing this, and how this would benefit a med spa or aesthetic business and help you guys grow in 2026. So what we're going to be talking about today is a blueprint for exponential revenue. This webinar is going to introduce 5 critical systems that connect advertising dollars directly to patient revenue, turning your clinic into a high conversion machine. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so I get the full screen. So why are we doing this? Well, the reason we're doing this is because we found in many different med spas, there's leaking revenue all over the place. Clinics, staff are too busy. They're not calling leads in a certain amount of time. Things are falling through the cracks. The average reply time, the average call rate. There's tons of little data points that we've collected that we're seeing have a massive effect on revenue for a med spa. So this delay means 78% of patients choose the first clinic that responds. If you're slow, you've already lost them. So disconnected data means unclear ROI, making decisions based on assumptions, not facts. So how is this going to benefit a med spa or an aesthetic business? So the 5 pillars on how we build a complete patient conversion funnel. The solution flow, we're going to combine lead generation with Jump Forward Media, automating the conversions with Defcon, providing incredible business insights and intelligence with Apex Coach, embedding AI into the med spa with Innova Sales Lab, and having a human support on top of that AI to ensure that we're converting at the very highest rate with VA Task Pros. Putting all these things into one seamless end-to-end high velocity patient journey. This unified system ensures leads are captured, nurtured instantly, booked, and tracked back to revenue. So with that being said, we're going to be going through a couple more people in here. We're going to be going through each of these pillars, all 5 of these companies. So we're going to be also, I do want to say before we really dive into this, for people who stay through the whole call and fill out, we're going to have a survey we're going to send to you guys. If you guys fill out that survey and you stay for this whole call, there's going to be a couple of gifts that we're going to be giving to you guys. Some things that will help you with marketing, some plans, KPIs, and things that we're going to be sending to everyone who fills out those surveys. So just wanted to preface it with that. So before we go any further, I want to introduce my partner, Hayden Ralph. This guy is a marketing genius. He's bootstrapped Jump Forward Media from the ground up 7 years ago. He's responsible for millions of dollars in sales for med spas across the United States. And today he's going to be talking about Apex Coach, which is a new software that we have just released in this last quarter, as well as Jump Forward Media. So with that being said, Hayden, go ahead and take it from here.
How are we doing, everyone? So yeah, today I'm going to jump into Apex Coach to get started. So Dave, if you want to stop sharing your screen, I'll go ahead and share mine. Awesome. So let's jump into this. So guys, Apex Coach, and I just want to preface this by this is a software tool that we created that partners with Defcon, that partners with all the companies here to give you really clarity on your data, but not only clarity, but like action items so you can actually make clear decisions for your business that are impactful. So what we've seen in this industry is a lack of data and a lack of connections to that data. So for example, right, this is something that we built out of need, not out of want. So we needed this data as marketing agencies, but we also needed this data for the clients, for them to understand what we're doing and what they're doing to be successful. So for example, we're not just pairing marketing data to this dashboard, we're also pairing your actual business data that we can get from places like Zenoti, MindBody, or whatever EMR or point of sale system that you're using. It could be even Stripe, right? And so we're able to take all these data points, put it in, like our coding algorithms in the back end, and then present the most important metrics to your business. So how I like to think about Apex Coach is truly a CEO dashboard at the highest level. So being able to see all your top metrics for your company so that you can make strong financial and marketing related decisions. So I'm going to quickly go over this, do like a quick demo. Feel free to stop me and ask any questions along the way, guys, if you have any questions about this, because there is a lot of data here, but it's laid out in a very clear, concise way for you guys to be able to see it. So this example that I'm showing you here is a 15 locations in a franchise. I'm not going to say the name of that franchise to keep the data secure. But what we're showing here is their revenue, right? So we're showing all the data points from their EMR. So think about a thing like Zenoti or Stripe. This could be banks, this could be Amex, it could be anything really. But in this example, this is an EMR. So a point of sale system for an aesthetic clinic, right? And so here we're showcasing total revenue, new clients, new client revenue, average first purchase, repeat clients, repeat client revenue, membership revenue, product revenue, so on and so forth, right? And then important sales metrics such as show up rate, close rate, and lifetime value. If you break it down below, you can also see any of these metrics and ranked by which location is performing the best, right? So you can go down there and see which location is performing the best and actually click into those locations to get even more details. So this is just on the revenue side, right? And things like Zenoti or things like Aesthetic Record, they probably show you this data, but not in a clear, concise way. And you have to go through reports after reports. You have to download Excels. You have to do certain formulas to try to even get that data. And then at the same time, it's just this crazy math equation that you can't figure out. So we've done all the hard work and made it very, very simple. Cool thing about this is it's customizable as well. So whatever metrics that you want to see, we can add that for your business so that you're logging in every day as the owner, as the CEO, and you're not waiting for reports from your team. You're actually just seeing it in real time. So I can filter it by locations. So if I only have one location, I can filter it there. If I have multi-locations, I can see them all here. And then I have this filter where I can see the past 90 days, 6 months, so on and so forth, right? Now let's go into some more cooler tabs because I think there's more to this than just seeing obviously your overall revenue and seeing your business numbers such as your close rate, lifetime value, etc. Right? So if I jump into marketing here, I'm going to be able to see my true return on investment. So we did so much work on this, guys, from a marketing perspective in order to get the proper attribution in place for you guys to actually see what ads are performing best and why they're performing the best. So here we can see that we spent $327,000 in ad spend and we made $766,000 in return. This is the amount of leads that we generated. This is the booking rate. This is the lead to show rate. This is the lead to close rate, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the most important metrics here that I feel like not a lot of people know is your cost per acquisition. Now, there's tons of different ways that you can download reports and try to figure out this, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to figure out this number. And if you know this number, it's very easy to scale, right? Because you're basically saying, okay, if I want 100 more patients, I just take this number and I multiply it by 100, right? So when you know your cost per acquisition, that truly gives you the freedom to be able to say, hey, if I spend this amount of money based on this data, this is how many new clients I'm going to get. This is how much money we're going to make. And that's extremely powerful. Now, as well as we can see all the data here, we can also compare it by location. And then we can also see it at the campaign level, which is really, really important. So we can see which campaign is spending the most. We can see which campaign has the highest amount of revenue, the highest amount of ROAS, the lowest cost per acquisition, and so on and so forth. So all these measurements and KPIs are scaled back and then scaled up, if that makes sense. So you can filter out anything that you want. Now, the cool thing that I'm not going to go super in depth on here because I don't want to showcase more data from this client is this piece, which is the ad performance preview. So in marketing, it's very, very difficult to understand which creative is actually performing the best when it comes to sales, when it comes to bookings, so on and so forth. So here we can actually see which ads are getting the most, not only the most clicks and leads, but are getting the most bookings and sales. So you can actually click into any of these and see a preview of the ad, which is really, really next level that we've created here, which is really cool. Going into that, I just want to quickly go over some more because I don't want to run too late on this. Let's go into the conversations tab. This one's also huge. So we're taking all the data from your CRM, so like Defcon, right? And we prefer that you guys do use something like Defcon since we already have that integration to them, and we know that the data is accurate, right? Some of these other CRMs, the data might not be that accurate, but when we go into something like Defcon, the way they set it up and the way that it's super organized is the easiest way for us to get all this data out, such as the calling information. So this is really cool. So now we're able to see how many outbound calls we're making, how many of those outbound calls that we're making are getting actually answered, so the call's getting connected, how many inbound calls are we getting, how many inbound calls are we answering during store hours, what's the call time, what's the speed to lead. Again, this metric right here is absolutely huge. Knowing your speed to lead, constantly improving your speed to lead results in more ROI. So there's tons of studies going over this, such as if you call leads within 5 minutes, if you call leads within 60 seconds, your percentage of ROI and the conversion goes up by not just like little amounts like 20, 25%, it goes up by 300%. So knowing these metrics and keeping your team accountable is absolutely huge if you want to do better in marketing and get that ROI boosted up. So we can actually go into something cool. Like now you guys are probably wondering, okay, I have all this data. What do I do with that data, right? How do I make decisions? So I'm going to take a little case study here just to show you guys, and I'm going to go 6 months back. So if I go 6 months back from now, I'm going to see that we found an issue here. We found this issue that during store hours, we're only answering the phone 39% of the time to inbound calls, which there's a huge problem there. It's either the front desk isn't answering the phone calls or something's wrong with the system. The callbacks aren't going to the right number. Someone's not picking up, right? But we're losing time, money, resources here. So what do? We let this client know that, hey, this is the reality of the situation. These are your guys' current numbers, and this is what we need to fix. And then if I go to 90 days from now, right, or 60 or 90 days, you can see that number jump up from 39% to 72%. And the only thing that changed was the client was aware. They had no idea that people were actually not answering the phone on their team. They made an announcement. They sent all these emails. They fixed the problem, and now they're at 72%, right? So that's a huge, huge win. And those are things that you just don't know if you don't have the data in front of you. Going over a couple more, let's go into memberships. Again, you could see active members, suspended members, member conversions, churns, pauses. This is all for any of you guys that actually have a subscription, such as weight loss, or if you have a membership program in your business. This is huge. We can get so much more clear data on what it actually takes to become a member. So for this business, it takes 12 visits before somebody actually becomes a member, right? Which is really, really wild, but it makes sense because this business isn't necessarily a membership model, but they have things that, you know, are monthly reoccurring services. So all these things, again, are super, super important for you guys to know and have. And the last thing I'll go over is targets. So targets are basically the KPIs that you can set for your team in order to hit your goals. So you can set any of those up here, and then they show up on the dashboard as well. So you can see how close you are to actually hitting that goal. But without going into too much, I know that there's going to be Q&A at the end and things like that. So if you guys have questions, either throw them in the chat or hold them for the end. But that is the basics of Apex Coach.
And if I could, Hayden, real quick, just to add to this, because this has been such a beautiful game changer for us. The key here is that, you know, not only can you review your KPIs, but you can set your KPIs. So the measurability, are you meeting those things? How far away from your goals you are, so that you can take action early and often rather than, you know, too late or too far gone. So it really helps keep you aligned. Those of you that run things like EOS or Six Sigma or any kind of, you know, project management philosophy, agile, any of those things, it'll be very, very complementary to those of you who are doing those things.
100%. Dave, I'll throw it back to you. So you can keep going. But again, if you guys have questions, save them for the end or throw them in the chat.
You're going up next with jump forward now. But yeah, so just to recap, Apex is something that we developed because as marketers, we needed it more than anyone. We needed access to that information, that data, visibility into it. What is the actual issue? What's the root cause? If I pull on this lever, how much does that, affect downstream? So being able to diagnose an issue and then prescribe a solution at your fingertips all the time in a med spa. So it might be a lead problem, it might be a calling problem, it might be a closing problem, it might be a show rate problem. How can I diagnose the problem and solve it and be able to have that updated in front of me all the time? But Hayden, yeah, go ahead and go through if you want to share your screen. Again, we're going to be going through jump forward and then we'll get on to the other 3 other companies.
Oh, sounds good, guys. Let's jump back into it. Sorry, I was muted there. Can you guys hear me? Everything good?
Good.
So I want to put you guys on some game when it comes to funnels, increasing conversions, quality leads. So at Jump Forward Media, we partner with all the companies that you see here. And our job is to bring in the leads, and not only bring in the leads, but bring in qualified leads. And so I want to show you guys how we do that rather than going into how great we are as a marketing agency. I'd rather show you guys what sets us apart and what makes us different and how we go about not only capturing attention, which I'm sure all you guys are aware of and kind of know how to do. I'm sure you've worked with a lot of marketing agencies. I'm sure you've seen Facebook ads, Google ads, but what actually makes the difference? Is it the ads itself, or is it what happens after the ad? So I think it's fairly easy, and maybe because I'm in marketing, I can say that, but I think it's fairly easy to capture attention. I think it's very hard to convert people, right? And I'm sure you guys feel the same. Generating leads is not necessarily a hard thing. I think any business can generate leads, especially with a pretty good ad copy, and so on and so forth. But where does that curiosity lead to, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is, okay, you've got someone to click on your ad. What's next, right? What do we do? So here's a really simple example of certain landing pages we make for really big companies such as VO that you're seeing here, as well as smaller single location businesses. They're all running the same way that we set up, but all with different factors on what's most important to them, what qualifies a lead to them, and what type of people do they want coming in their business. So it starts with the marketing, who you're targeting, and building curiosity. And then it ends with the website or the landing page on how you qualify. So I'm going to show you an example of this page here so you can kind of see what we talk about. And I'm not going to get into every single little detail besides the main aspect of it, which is going to be the qualification process. So as you can see here, we're just going to put the time of year up here. Seasonality is very important in marketing because seasonality is a way to always refresh and rewrap your offers. So you don't always need to change your offers, but you always need to have something that seems new to the customer's eyes, right? Example is seasonality. So let's just say I'm running a $10 per unit Botox special, and that's my new guest special. I don't want to change that. That's the price point we're always going to utilize. How do you change that? You just rewrap it. So now it's the New Year's special. Then it's going to be the Valentine's special. Then it's like spring into action with $10 Botox and so on and so forth. So that's how you keep building more hype and more interest, is rewrapping the offer. So quickly going over this first page, I just want to show you, we tell them exactly what's included. We show them, this is a limited time offer. We also give social proof with real reviews, and then we put a map in there so they know exactly where we're located. Very, very simple, right? So what happens when they click claim their offer? Most of the time, most agencies and most marketing just is a lead form. It's just name, phone number, and email. Most of the time, they don't even get taken off the platforms. But in this case scenario, when they click this, we're going to give them options. We're going to show them all the different specials we're running. And as you've noticed, they haven't even seen what the offer is yet because we don't want them to know yet. We're going to push that till the very, very end so we can just build interest on actually what they want. So for example, let's say that they're interested in a filler treatment. They're going to click filler. Then it's going to ask them, is this for you or is this for somebody else? They're going to put this is for me, or if they're buying it for someone else, that's something that we want to know. But I'm going to put this is for me. Next, they're going to say, how long have you wanted this treatment for? It's either recently, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. This is going to be able, we're going to be able to use this information when we actually go to call the lead to utilize that as ammunition for actually closing them and getting them to come in, right? Next is what days work best for their appointments. That way, when we're actually going to be giving them times on the phone call, when we call them after they become a lead, we can actually give them date and times that we already know that they're interested in. So if they said weekends, I'm not going to say, hey, we have Monday open and we have Wednesday open, which time works best for you? I'm going to say, hey, we have this time on Saturday and this time on Sunday. I know you said you're interested in weekends. What time works best for you? Right? Very, very important. This one is really, really cool. So if you guys have been placed in any type of award, or you guys have any qualification for your business that you've been awarded, or you were put in a blog post on some big blog or anything like that, a lot of people utilize this of how did you hear about us? As did you hear about us from Google, TikTok, Meta, YouTube, or a friend, right? And we're actually doing some psychological work here where we don't care about any of that because we already have proper attribution set up, especially with like Apex and Defcon and all these other platforms that we utilize. So instead, we want them to know that, hey, we won this award. And how do we say that without being too flashy? Is just like this. Did you hear about us from being the #1 top rated med spa in Entrepreneur Magazine? Right. And so this causes something in the head, regardless of if they say yes or no here, they're going to have that in the back of their mind. Then what happens here is it customizes an offer for them and it says, hey, where should we send this offer? Then we collect the information. And what's great about this is we're actually seeing a lower cost per lead, having the name, phone number, and email at the end versus having it in the front, which is very, very interesting because people feel heard when they're actually taken through a survey that relates to them and that interests them rather than just saying, hey, fill out the name, phone number, and email. It feels like we're giving them something before they're even opting in. So I really wanted to go over that. It's really, really important. I think within the ads and everything that I could spend some time here and show you guys. We could save that till the end and we could show you guys ad examples and things like that. But I truly think when it comes to marketing and things that you guys can do internally on your own, like I just walked you guys through this whole process. So regardless of if you work with a company like ours or not, or the Unified Marketing Group as a whole, now you guys are able to see what a winning funnel looks like. How to recreate this for yourself, utilizing surveys, utilizing the qualification process to take advantage of not only generating leads, but generating qualified leads that actually took the time to go through your whole sales process and built interest. So I'm going to leave it at that. Dave, I'll throw it back to you. Again, if you guys have questions, save them for the end. And yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Hayden, for sharing that. Up next, guys, we're going to be going to Tom Bigley. Tom Bigley is an enterprise solutions architect and founder at Defcon 1 Marketing, a med spa focused agency on a mission to help clinics grow, scale, and win. Tom is a former sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. Tom's passions in helping others achieve their goals and specializes in preparing businesses to scale. With over 17 years of experience between corporate consulting and fractional services, he has helped countless businesses and organizations overcome the biggest obstacles in training, sales, project management, and information management. With that being said, Tom, go ahead and take it from here.
Thanks. And again, thank you everybody for attending. So as he said, I'm one of the founders of Defcon 1 Marketing, along with a couple of individuals. One thing I really want to start with here is introducing how this came to be. So what we started with here was a company that had a lot of problems getting their CRM off the ground. They hired people. The people would put something together. It would get so far through, and then it would break. And they went through this countless times. And so a lot of you can probably relate, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars thrown at a problem that never got solved. When they finally connected with me, I took a look at their system. Since my degree is in business management with a specialization in information management, plus my time in corporate, it took me about 5 minutes to figure out what was going on, a couple hours to fix it. And ever since then, I've not left their side. We spent almost 2 years refining this model, from perfecting the copy, from installing automations to digging into what are the pain points that these clinics have, Some of the things that Hayden mentioned before, we'll talk to here. But what I really want to start off with is where the Defcon CRM really separates itself, as well as some of the things that it observes and does that separate it. So, the number one thing that I think Hayden touched on lightly is most clinics don't lose patients because of bad leads. They lose them because they respond too slowly or not at all. The average clinic takes about 47 minutes to respond to a new lead. Meanwhile, 78% of patients book with the first clinic that responds. Hence, if you're not responding in under 5 minutes, your ad spend is leaking revenue. And after 5 minutes, your chances of even getting a response drop by up to 90%. It's not a lead quality problem, it's a speed and a follow-up problem. The clinics that are winning right now aren't doing better ads, they're responding faster and following up more consistently. And so, kind of what is Defcon in a sense? It's a HIPAA compliant automation CRM built specifically for med spas and clinics. This is not a generic software retrofitted for healthcare. It is designed around how clinics actually operate. It automates the things that humans struggle to do consistently: speed, repetition, follow through, instant responses, consistent follow-up, tasks, reminders, accountability, making sure that every lead is captured, responded to, logged, and tracked. No more, I thought someone else called them. Our clients tend to say the same thing over and over. Our CRM works while we're with patients and even while we're closed. And that's where the automations come in. You'll hear from Innova in a little bit on how you can even supplement that to enhance it even more, so that you can have an active dialogue with people after hours, or when your clinics are closed, or when the staff is tied up and can't handle it, to reduce the overwhelm on the staff and enhance the experience of the patient, and thus reduce the revenue leakage that we referenced before. So that said, the biggest hidden loss in clinics isn't bad leads, it's missed follow-up. The steps that we kind of take, or the things that we kind of hit on here are, Defcon ensures 100% follow-up instantly and repeatedly. It immediately sends texts and emails. It does smart nurture until they get booked or say no. Provides confirmations, no-show recovery, rescheduling. Automation doesn't replace staff, it protects them. However, it can replace staff. So it's up to you as these owners to look at, as you're implementing some of these tools, you'll have some insights and some revelations and the things that will come to mind or to light that are showing you we either have this person in the wrong place, or we don't need this person, or we need to bring the software in to take that person off of it so that we can eliminate some overhead, we can save some money, we can be more consistent. So not only does it protect your staff, but it can replace staff if necessary. And it ensures your team talks to warm, qualified leads instead of chasing voicemails. And that's how clinics push conversion rates into the 50-70% range. The thing that I want to talk more about too is that Defcon is not just an email campaign tool. You've got a lot of different CRMs out there. HubSpot, Zoho, the list goes on and on and on. And the thing that I don't necessarily love about them is they kind of take what I call the hub and spoke model, which is there's one thing they do really well, and then they know there's all these other things that people can do. So they come up with what I kind of call a half solution to it so that they can claim they offer it. But not only do they do that, they charge you for that extra service and every extra seat. So one thing I want to make clear is Defcon 1 isn't just a campaign tool, it's an infrastructure. It is a marketing operating system. Most clinics are juggling 20 different tools that don't talk to each other. I was in a spa the other day sitting down with a clinic director, And I said, pull up everything that you do when it comes to doing all of your operations here. Literally opened 22 different tabs. I said, what would you do if I could tell you that we could get that down to 2 tabs? Your CRM and your EMR, and Apex Coach, basically. And she didn't believe me, so I showed her, and she thus begged me to harass, the corporate level of that organization, and we're working on that. But anyway, Defcon consolidates all of these things into one operating system. It runs the same way on day 1, month 6, location 12, meaning you're going to get consistency through and through. And that's done through automations. That's done through optional AI that you can sign up for with Innova. It has the ability to be smart. It has the ability to make decisions. It has the ability to just follow an exact path that you want it to. Our best clients stopped relying on hero employees. The system works even when people are sick or on vacation. Automation handles speed and consistency. AI and humans handle nuance, and that's how you scale without chaos. And then just a couple of quick things that our clients have had to say. One clinic we work with did not change their ads at all. All they did was fix speed to lead. Hayden talked to this a little bit. Response time dropped from 30 minutes to under 3. Bookings increased over 40% in the first month. Same traffic, same spend, better results. Another clinic thought they had a lead quality issue. Turns out they were missing half of their follow-ups. Once Defcon 1 handled the nurturing reminders, their front desk stopped chasing people, revenue stabilized almost immediately, and it freed up their staff to provide better patient care, which is really what you want to do if you want to keep customers. So all in all, Defcon is not a typical med spa. It is something that we built specifically for a fast growing clinic. In fact, one of the faster growing larger clinics in the country, and refined it and refined it and refined it and broke it and fixed it and refined it. And once we finally got it to a point where we were confident we didn't have more issues, we decided to roll it out and open it up to everybody. And as Hayden and I and Dave began working together, we noticed, a lot of the stuff that we had invested in here really go a lot further than most of these CRMs go. And the beauty of Defcon is it's one flat rate. We don't charge by features. We don't charge by number of seats. It's a flat rate. And that's what helps. We confirm no-shows, confirmations, reschedules. Your team talks to warm, qualified leads instead of chasing voicemails. That's essentially it. So Defcon can really encompass everything. When I say everything, I'm talking about if you're running ads, you can run it, your management of those ads through this system. If you are going around from each of your social media channels to check all your messages and everything, we have a consolidated place where they all go into one place inside this. If you are doing booking, there's Calendly-like booking built in. If you're doing contracts, if you're doing consent forms, there's built-in DocuSign. We have ability to, and what comes with the system, pre-written emails, pre-written texts, pre-done automations, things that nurture, things that work with copy that's already proven and tested time over time over time. So what you're getting is an off-the-shelf solution that you can deploy in a very short period of time and amplify your results, in tandem with working with your advertiser and any other vendors such as Innova or VA Task Pros, Apex. And that's one thing that we did is we also have the capability to connect for those EMRs that allow it. We have the ability to connect our Defcon CRM to your EMR. What that does is eliminates redundancy in data entry. It allows more time on patient experience and patient care, and a whole host of other things. So I'm encouraged, if this is something that you're interested in, we'd love to talk to you more about it. But I do have to say, when we combined Apex Coach with all of the other people on this call that are going to be presenting, we just saw explosions. These tools are nothing more, nothing less than what you need to be successful. Too many people focus on, the shiny stuff. They don't stay focused. This allows you one place, really a centralized place, to do everything that you need to do marketing wise. You can plan out your social. You can do the list keeps going. You can build LMS. You can build all these things. So for more information on that, we can obviously get on a demo call if you're interested. But to close on Defcon, it really consolidates all the decentralization that you have. A lot of businesses, what they do is they grow and they grow and they grow through what I call, elbow grease and sweat equity. But very seldom do they stop, turn around, take a look backwards and say, is this still the right way to do this? Is there a smarter way to do this? This is the smarter way to do this. This is what you look back and say, hey, we need to make this change to a better system that does everything for us. So Defcon, in combination with our power partners here, can really catapult you very easily, and this, the very first customer that we had, to this day, I believe, since the day we installed it for their locations, every location has experienced 30% month over month growth just simply by having this system. So with that, Dave, I'll hand it back over to you. And
awesome.
Come on.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you for giving that presentation, guys. I compare it to Defcon as the Michael Jordan of CRMs. It is the Shohei Ohtani. It's automation at its finest. And I don't know if anyone here has ever ran ads and generated leads and been frustrated by the amount of work and calls and texts and all this stuff. Defcon and the people we're about to announce give you the ability for your clinic, your staff to be more profitable and efficient and automate as much as possible and create a system that works on itself. So up next, guys, we're going to be going to VA Task Pros. We're going to have Marshall share his screen and start going through. Marshall with VA Task Pros, they hire and train VAs to assist your staff so they can focus on the more important things, the client experience, and get the lead and new patient acquisition solved for
Hey, Dave,
you
one
guys.
question on Defcon before I know you're on a schedule. Can I ask one question to Tom at Defcon?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Tom, we are orienting to scheduling Zoom calls. So instead of having people get on and hit like what they're ordering and all of that, which in a high volume normal med spa is best, we're finding it better if we get these people on a Zoom, and we're basically the AI, the ads, everything is now simplified to ask them what treatment they're interested in, but then schedule a Zoom. And when they get on with one of our doctors, we see a much higher level of building the relationship, getting actually the people to come in, and we start personal rapport. Where before they were going to Zenoti, they were getting frustrated, hitting on some buttons, they didn't understand the pricing, they would hit it, and anyhow. So my question is, can you schedule Zoom calls with your system?
Yes, you can. And not only that, once we get to Innova, they will talk a little bit about something else that we're implementing that we'll plan on rolling out here in the near future, which actually can connect our system to Zenoti or the EMR of choice, and say you do your booking through Zenoti. We connect that over, and we can move things around down your sales pipeline within the CRM. We can trigger automations that way. One of those things in the calendars is you can build in different classes of calendars. So if you want a group setting, if you want a one-on-one, if you want round robin sales, things like that, all of that can be incorporated.
Thanks, Tom. Wow, what a great system.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Howard. Marshall, go ahead and share your screen and go ahead.
Yeah, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, you want to hit slideshow and load up?
Yes, sir. Still see it?
Yep.
Perfect. Tom, Hayden, and Dave, guys, everything that we do at VA Task Force kind of feeds off of the systems that businesses typically use. And to give you some background, and I want to introduce Andrew as well as my business partner. We've been in the call center and business process outsourcing space for about 6 years now, and have worked with a ton of different systems in a ton of different industries. And Tom at Defcon was my introduction to the medspa space. And seeing how his system operated with his Defcon CRM, how Hayden and Dave handle marketing over there at Jump Forward Media, and how the Apex coach is being built, you're only as good as what your system can do and how your system works with your clients and with your patients and communicates. And so we do a human element of outsourcing on the call center side of things, anything from customer support to sales and appointment setting, cold calling, kind of the work in your typical BPO industries. And what we really do best in our bread and butter is really that middle of funnel solution for businesses and making outbound calls, 60-second timelines to the lead coming through, lead being touched within 60 seconds by a human, and kind of moving that project or that patient along to getting them in your.
To add to that too, and I just want to give a shout out to Marshall too. One of the things when we first started working with Marshall that we noticed is he and his team, one of the things they do the greatest job at is hammering home is follow up. When you're working with Marshall, these guys are chasing leads. They are not going to let you go. They're going to keep calling and keep calling and keep calling until they tell you to get lost or, give over, hand over the money. It's basically that simple. And I just got to give credit to Marshall and Andrew. The business that they've established is extremely sustainable, repeatable. We've worked, increasingly closer together. And the more we've done that, we've more found alignment and been able to increase some of those percentages we quoted to you earlier by a considerably greater degree.
Yeah, that's perfect, Tom. And thank you for that. Hayden said something earlier. Anybody can generate the leads if you have a good ad copy and somewhat of a marketing mind. You can generate good leads. The hardest part is converting those leads, and that's kind of where we come in. Like Tom had said, it's almost, I don't want to call it a buy or die mentality, but we're going to call your leads two to three times a day. Make sure they're getting hit with the text multiple times a week until we get an outcome or an answer from them, whether that's a yay or a nay. And so when it comes to kind of overall process with what we do and how we operate, we do go through a vet and assessment test with all of the applicants that come on board with us. And they work almost directly as an internal employee of you. So they're working directly alongside your team, directly alongside you and your business to kind of help move those leads to the finish line. So the human nuance that we bring to the table paired with the CRM and good marketing and an Apex coach that shows you exactly where your business is at is one of the reasons why a lot of these med spas have been so successful with changes.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great feedback. Everybody that we have sent Marshall's way has come back and just said, "Oh my gosh, like you've taken so much off my plate and added so much business to my business. I don't know what I would do without them." So, just again, great kudos to Marshall in that respect. And you'll hear in a second, how that can be taken even further when we get into Innova.
Yeah, just to wrap up too, if you've had experience with call centers in the past and if you've done outsourcing and it's been offshore throughout the world, we've recruited and hired from a lot of Latin America, Belize, El Salvador, the Philippines, Indonesia, Egypt. We're pretty well versed. And so we have a really good idea on what we're looking for with qualified applicants that we do onboard and bring into your team if they're going to be part of your team with your business.
Yeah, I'll throw that in there too. Marshall's probably one of the best um, uh, sourcing agents that I've ever met. You know, he will find the right person for that job, for that specific med spa, for what they need, and so it's not just a skill fit; it's a culture fit as well. And that's what I really enjoy about working with Marshall.
Yeah, and I know because we're kind of on a time crunch here too. I'll wait till the end and open up the door for any questions that anybody may have for me.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Marshall. Up next, guys, I'm going to be passing the torch to Todd and Matt with Innova Sales Lab. They are experts in AI and automation and work side by side with all the companies that we're going through today. Todd and Matt, go ahead and take over.
Okay, guys, can you see my screen? Okay, do I have this right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, so appreciate everyone hanging in here with us. So my part of the conversation is really focused on how do we integrate AI in a smart, logical way without compromising the patient experience and the brand that's been established. So up to now, we've talked about a lot of different things, and I think the power of the folks on this call is the ability to engage with a system. So one of the things, and I've been in sales and marketing leadership for 15 years and started Innova Sales Lab about a year and a half ago with the intent to improve the sales process, because for those on the line that work with clinicians all day, the number one thing that clinicians want to do is be with patients, right? And everyone in a healthcare environment has the end goal of improving a patient's life. So what we try to do here at Innova is say, okay, where can we put AI in place that makes sense? And I'm sure a lot of people on the line can relate to the ridiculously difficult experience they've had at some point in time making a call to some clinician or some large company and dealing with 4 or 5 different phone systems, 3 or 4 people overseas, right? A whole bunch of stuff to only get nowhere. The number one thing that people want when they make a phone call is an outcome, right? So that's what we try to do at Innova. I'm not going to go into features and benefits, but what do we do here is we work with everyone else on this panel to say, okay, where is the lowest hanging fruit within your communication pipeline and where does AI make sense? And the most glaring need is answering phone calls, triaging phone calls, booking appointments. Anyone who's messed around with ChatGPT or any one of the AI tools that are available to everyone knows that the technology is there to have a really sophisticated AI agent handling communications. What we try to do is take a consultative approach and plug that in to do it the right way without compromising the outcome. When you engage with a med spa, a clinician's office, or really any business that has a really good AI agent system, and I'm sure many of you may have experienced it, and if you haven't, it's certainly right around the corner. Your outcome is great, even though you're speaking to a computer, right? And maybe it sounds a little robot-y at times. The bottom line is you're getting to the outcome, which is booking an appointment, which is getting a review taken. We have a lot of deployments where we're answering ads right away. So for those practices that are deploying money against ads, having an AI agent call as soon as somebody clicks and says, hey, I'm interested in your thing, that's far and beyond, like Hayden said, speed to lead is what we try to accomplish with AI agents. So I'm not going to go through features and benefits given the time, but in the chat for anyone that's interested in an AI agent demo, we can send you after the call a phone number to go through a one-on-one experience with an AI agent just to test it out. Because if anyone on the line is like me, I don't want to take somebody else's word for it. I want to experience it myself. So just hit us up in the chat, say, yeah, I'm interested in an AI agent demo, and we'll get you a unique phone number and you can experience it for yourself. So a lot of different languages, a lot of different voices, total customization. And the bottom line is it integrates with everything else that we're talking about here today, right? AI is at a place where it's good, but it's not great for certain applications. The human touch is always going to be the best way of creating a relationship with people, in my opinion, right? So we try to take that other 75% of it off the table which then optimizes your ability to interact with people in the places that are most meaningful for you and for them. So that's in essence what we do. I'll kind of go into the last slide if my mouse will work here. And
While you're doing that,
yeah.
Matt, if I might, want to just throw this in there. The things that we're working with currently are inbound calls, outbound calls, appointment setting, and text agents. And the beautiful thing about that is, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The clinics that are winning are making money while they're closed. They're booking while they're closed. And what Innova offers is an extension of that to if somebody is online at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and they have time and they're doing their work and they're getting to that list, part of their list, they don't have to worry about hey, we'll get back to you in the morning. Those AI agents are trained so well and produce so well that you're actually able to continue a conversation almost endlessly to get all the information that you want, that would allow you to make a decision to book or incentivize you to book. And I just wanted to throw that in there because it's been incredibly valuable. One last thing, and for those of you who are using Zenoti right now and any other EMRs in the future, we are nearing a pilot of the ability for if you are using your EMR for your booking, we can integrate that into this CRM and have it update pipelines, set off triggers, so they work together very, very well. They talk to each other, so we can make these systems almost integrated into one. So if you want to use one more preferably than the other, you're able to do that. And the idea is to consolidate as much as possible.
Yeah, and thanks, Tom. And I'll say this: with this business, we get the 80% of our leads come in between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. And why is that? Because people are on their phones scrolling in bed before they go to bed. And a lot of times they just want the ability to take a next step, because if they're not taking a next step with your clinic, the very next ad they're going to see is somebody else's clinic. So it's
Right.
certainly a differentiator.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just a few points to wrap up here, right? Obviously, HIPAA compliant. I'm not going to go through these things, but the number one thing that we try to offer as a team here is the ability to consult with those that are interested in deploying any one of the technologies that are mentioned today. AI is obviously one component, and we appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Thank you, Matt. And then I'll go ahead and share my screen here and summarize, and Tom, I'll tap you in too as well. But so yeah, guys, we really appreciate all you guys showing up to this call, giving us some time, and just allowing us to present these things together. What we reviewed today is the 5 systems that are built to eliminate the revenue leak and deliver unparalleled results. These are what some of the top performing groups in the United States are doing right now. We have Jump Forward Media that's driving the patient traffic. We have Defcon that's ensuring immediate automated conversion. Innova Sales Lab providing intelligent 24/7 coverage. VA Task Pros offering the human expert support at scale. And Apex Coach giving you the ultimate undeniable ROI clarity. Putting all these things together gives you the power of unified marketing. It gives you visibility, it gives you automation, and it increases the business growth at rates that are now possible with all this new technology. Tom, Matt, Marshall, if you guys want to.
I would just add, I'll just jump in. Guys, we've all been working together for a little while now, and the reason we came together to do this is that we appreciate and see a very distinct higher value with each of our within each of us. We have found that when we work together, we amplify results. So whether you work with one of us, several of us, or all of us, we're going to do our best to take care of you, let you know what might be the next best step, what you might need, you know, in what order, things like that. And it's all contingent on talking to you and understanding how you run your clinic, what your objectives are, what your goals are, and we will all work to design something that you know meets your needs.
Awesome. And so we will be sending out a survey for you guys. So after this, I'll be texting and emailing you guys a survey that will have a couple questions on, you know, did you guys get some value from this? And then it will also allow you guys to check the box of which companies you'd like to speak with. Once we get that information, we'll have representatives from those companies be reaching out to you guys to set up one-on-ones and do, you know, demos of each of these services or companies. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or if there's anything that anyone would like to go through, I'll keep the Zoom room open for the next 15 minutes or so, and we can go through that stuff.
I would just add, you know, as you're going through this, you know, maybe it's, you know, you're not quite there yet, but these solutions are in place for any type of med spa, whether you're starting off, whether you're already established and looking to improve your margins, grow, scale, consolidate, whatever your goal is. Every vendor or everybody that's presented in this call can contribute to that in a major way. So we do like to work together on these things. We find that because we have such alignment from core values to follow through, you know, we operate very well together. We communicate very well together, and you know, the more you stick within our group, you know, the better potential results you're going to have. So I just wanted to, you know, lay that out. It's just it's incredible what the five of us have been able to do in a very short period of time. We all also will be doing future webinars. So when you get your surveys, when you contact anybody, you know, if there's something you'd like more information about in general in a future webinar or anything of that sort, please feel free to share that with anyone, and we'll make sure it gets shared with everybody. And we'll try to do one of these maybe once a quarter to, you know, expand upon those. And if you missed, you know, if you missed it, we can send you a recording. But again, Dave, I'll let you reiterate, you know, those of you who stayed all the way through, we do have some things that we will inform you of in our post call email.
Yeah, I did put, if you guys see in the chat, there should be a link that goes to the survey. If you guys fill that out, we're going to be emailing out a couple free gifts for everyone who participated and stayed through the end. But yeah, guys, bottom of our hearts, we appreciate the time. We appreciate you guys showing up and giving us your guys', you know, valuable time and attention. And yeah, we're excited with what we can do with the power of unified marketing.
And just that one last thing is that is truly what our message is here is the people you choose to work with, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And this is a group of people who have no weak links and have proven it year over year over year, clinic by clinic by clinic, by the hundreds, in some cases, you know, even you know, combined over, you know, thousands. So, you know, we are growing quickly. Our slots are filling up quickly. So please do fill out that survey, and we will get you in touch with the right people ASAP so that you can start taking advantage of anything you see here that you feel like you immediately need. And if not, we'll point you in the direction that we feel is more appropriate for you. But you know, we really do prefer and like to work together. And you know, it's just it's been a pleasure to work with these guys, and we wanted to extend that. I think this is something really special And I think that you stand to lose nothing to, talk to everybody individually, get information from everybody. Even if you're not sure about something, go ahead and sign up. When we don't eat up your whole entire day with these calls. We listen more than we talk, and I think that's important for us to understand what your needs are and how to best support your business, which is what we're here to do.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll.
I mean, do you want to? Are there any questions? Do we get any questions? Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask before we end the call? I always take silence as consensus. So that either means we did a good job or everybody went deaf. So either way, you'll get we do have a recording of this. If you'd like a recording of it, we will distribute that. And just like I said, reach out to us. We're here to help. That's our objective. And that's what brought us all together, is we all have a deep passion for helping other people win. So we'd love the opportunity to help you do the same.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
guys.
No questions. We can wrap it up.
Yeah. Everyone have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll be
Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate every one of you, and have a fantastic week. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, everybody.
Cool. Sean, what'd you think? You played in here?
Good.
Yeah.
Very informative. Yeah,
Awesome.
I want to do it.
Let's go.
I just gotta see if I can afford it.
Yeah.
But I would love to try. Like, I love the fact that everything is in one. That's our problem. Like, following up fast enough. The very beginning of the presentation is just, I know that that's part of my problem because I get the leads. I just don't follow up quick enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying in the beginning, the pieces to the puzzle, right? You can have a really good marketing company, you could have a really good closer, you could have a really good caller. You got to put all these things together. And then really what we've seen in this last 2 years is like the technology is it's improving so quickly to the point where the clinics that are winning and growing are implementing this, and so having those touch points and putting it all together has been something that we're really excited to be a part of.
I am too. I appreciate being invited. I was like, so this is the system you were talking about. So it's got everything all in one. I like the fact of, even if you're busy, because with me having to downsize and it's just me and one scheduler, like I was thinking if I do grow though, like could I even handle it? But I like the fact that you got the AI and then you could get a VA too that'll be trained up, if, possibly. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we realize and why we're having this webinar is like putting all 5 of us together is basically end-to-end solution. So like there shouldn't be, like, Tom said, there shouldn't be any weak link. We're trying to take as much off of your guys' plate and just have it be an end-to-end solution that is producing new clients and revenue for the business,
Yeah, and we could just focus on the service part.
Exactly.
And I was getting into the medical weight loss, which should boost my memberships because I've always struggled growing memberships. But now, with that weight loss thing, they have to order every month. So I'm meeting with the girl tomorrow. So this might all be serendipitous because I anticipate this is going to take off. It's a friend of mine. She's a nurse, but she has MS, and she had been trying to figure out, how to help her symptoms, the inflammation, and lose weight. And she ended up coming up with this combination of peptides, where she lost like all this weight in 1 month. She got like 11 or 12 of her family members and friends too. So this girl now has case studies. She's been doing it over the last 6 months. And then that's when she reached out to me like, listen, I think we could make a business out of this. So she's in Delaware, but she's going to drive down here tomorrow to meet me and show me everything and talk to me. But I was telling her, we need to package this peptide combo that you came up with and market it as our own thing.
And that's the industry's going that way. I mean, the aesthetic industry is becoming the wellness industry, and like we know people that are working with Robert Kennedy right now that are getting things approved. We have people that are going to DC that are sitting in those.
I've got my partner in Defcon is literally with RFK right now, celebrating.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna blow up.
Yeah. See. Yeah, this is exactly what I needed.
I'm so glad.
That's exciting, Sean.
That was our goal here, is to kind of clarify some stuff. I mean, it gets muddy. It's hard to figure out. And a lot of times people are trying to just sell you, solutions, that don't really have proven success behind them. And that's the thing I think that separates us, is that we've all been doing this for a while. And what you notice is not one of us is stepping outside of our lane of expertise. That was the goal. You may mention, can I do this all myself? No, not past a certain point. You're gonna need help. You're gonna need some automation help. You're gonna need some AI help. You're gonna need to take the work off of your plate. So the opportunities that this provides, not only clarifies, but allows you to clearly set, like, what are your goals, right? What do we want to do? What do we want to spend? How do we want to do this? And then you have us there as advisors in our own lanes. We're not stepping into, I don't step into Marshall's lane and try to tell him how to train or hire. He's an expert at that. I don't go over to Hayden and tell him how to do reporting. We use, Defcon uses Marshall. Defcon uses Hayden. Defcon uses Innova. Literally everybody on here, we work together in some form or fashion, even with our own businesses. So we're not here, just saying, this is a good opportunity for you. We're here saying, like, we did it for ourselves and each other, and that worked. And if that works, then there's no question it's going to work for everybody else.
Oh, wow. That sounds great.
Well, I'm excited for your growth, Sean, and I have to jump, so I'll add one last thing here. We'll take the hiring headaches kind of out of your process when it comes to a lot of those outbound calls and managing client communication, patient communication, that kind of stuff. So when the times are ready, Sean, I'd be more than happy to jump on a call and entertain the idea.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.